And I think this is the way those in diaspora should start thinking in order to make changes to the lives of people back home rather than just giving them money for nothing. And those people believe that we have a horse abroad that can be sending money. So let it be tit for tat. Hello everyone, I hope this video meets you well. So in a previous video, I talked about how important you are and how much it is so important for you to be able to save some money, especially if you are in Nigeria and you are doing well, or you have managed to JAPA, that is escape from Africa or from Nigeria or from any part of Africa, and you are now in the West, Europe, Asia, America, and you are working so hard. Remember, one of the reasons why you left Nigeria or Africa to come to Europe or any part of this world is for you to be able to better your life, to make sure that apart from better your life, to make sure that some of your people back home, your immediate family and friends, if you can help, you do everything you can in order to help them. But in doing that, I actually made you understand that you have to do it with common sense. Sometimes you have to be, or most times you have to be selfish in order to be able to save some money abroad, because apart from the bills that comes in abroad that is pounding you down, then you've also got the consideration that you give to people back home. And this is just because of the way that we Africans have been trained. We have compassion for our people in or helping our people. Unlike the Western world, where you have children, and once those children get to 18, they fly away, and that's it. In Africa, we put ourselves together as one family. So it's like whatever is happening to one person is actually happening to the other person. And so we travel with that mentality. And when we get abroad, because of the so much bills that come in, at the end of that, you discover you haven't got enough to help either your parents back home or your younger ones back home. Before actually dipping into this video, I want you to just take a couple of minutes to listen to this next clip that I intend to play you. It talks about how you in diaspora might not or should not help people back home. But I want you to listen to it before I further my own take on the video.
I have this message particularly for you. And just now I was reading of a young person in UK that collapsed, a Nigerian in UK that collapsed at where the warehouse where he was working, and he died. And they're looking for GoFundMe to be able to bring him home to bury. In the last few months, there have been quite a number of deaths of Nigerians in diaspora. Nigerians in diaspora, especially those that have gone, they either have jackpot or something. They are working themselves to the grave. I know, yes, there's a need and a pressure from back home. People who are making demands on you, people who are families that are waiting, expectation. Everybody wants you to solve, their problem. And we've all been brought up to believe that we have to solve everybody's problem. The money that you have, yes, it's not for you alone. Everybody must have of it and that. But there's a saying that you cannot help the poor by being poor yourself. And I also want to add, you cannot help the poor by being in the grave. The people that you're killing yourselves to work and get money for them, first of all, 99% of them do not appreciate you because they feel that you should do more. After all, you are in abroad and you are cutting money anyhow. Meanwhile, you are there, you have no savings, you have nothing. You're literally working to be able to maintain the people that are back home in Nigeria. And yet, it is not appreciated. If anything were to happen to you today, you're not even, let's even leave death out of it. Maybe you came back to Nigeria, or you've not really been able to do amass something that people will think you should amass, those same people that you have helped constantly are the ones that are coming to insult you and say, with all the opportunity he or she had, they never did anything. Meanwhile, your money was the one that was used to pay school fees, take care of people, pay hospital bills, send feeding money. But they will never understand, they will never remember. The thing is this: if you don't help the people back home, they will help themselves. They will find alternative. The day you die and enter the grave, guess what? They will look for some other person that they will start asking and start building. Yes, you might have that guilty feeling, oh, if I'm not helping, I did this one. As much as you can, crush that guilty feeling.
So that little clip that you've just watched is actually longer than that, but I just decided to reduce it in order to, make my own points. If you really want to watch the full version of that video, you can go to Aisha's YouTube channel, and I'm sure you'll be able to see the full version of that video. But I'm sure you have listened and you have heard what has been said or what she said, and my take to that is a little bit different, because when we come abroad, you left all this problem back home, and as soon as you get abroad, because of the way we've been trained and the kind of mentalities that we have, we see it as an obligation to help people back home. Even me, that I'm telling you, as much as I have tried to stop, sometimes it is almost impossible for you to do. We have different people in the world, and every single person is different. So we all have different mentalities. There are people that can actually decide to turn a blind eye, whatever is happening to their family, their friends back home. And there are some people that they just cannot do it. The moment they get that bad news, they will do everything possible in order to solve that problem. I will quickly give you an example. Just a couple of weeks back, I had a friend that unfortunately had a stroke. And when they took him to hospital, the first hospital, before anything, even before they admit him, 300,000 had to be paid. He was in that hospital for maybe a couple of days or a week, and then things did not work out the way it should. He was recommended to go to a different hospital. Getting to that hospital, before anything, they demanded to pay 700,000. Out of this 700,000, it's not that medications are included in it. It's just for some random little test here and there. So imagine the kind of treatments that will go with that. So that is what is in Nigeria. And I know how much I had to cough out in order to cover these bills. And this is where I'm going. Sometimes, because I was asking myself, this is a friend, this is not even a family member. But sometimes some friends can be even better than family members. And I was asking myself, I wasn't in the position to keep dishing out money in order to get this guy back to his feet. But should I just turn a blind eye and just block his number from my phone? I can't. And that is what most of us from Nigeria or Africa, this is what we go through. And all I could just say to that video that you have just watched, my own take is that we should just pray that a situation that will allow one or close member of your family to get in, that they will call you. Imagine someone call you now and they said, your younger brother is in hospital and he had an accident and they have to do an operation, and the operation will cost about 2 million and stuff like that. What would you do? Knowing who we are and the kind of mentality we have, You will do nothing. If you have that 2 million in your account, you will take it out and you will send it. So that is the way that we have been trained. And all we just need to do is to pray to God that we don't always have this kind of situation. Because I know who we are as Africans. We will always sort the problem out. We can't turn a blind eye. So I get where Aisha is coming from, that no matter what you do, they will never appreciate it. No matter what you do, they will always seems to want more. And that is where I come in. Because if you are in diaspora, Europe, Asia, or wherever, if you have siblings or brothers and sisters and whatever in that country, hardly would any one of them come to you and request for money like they do request for money back home. Oh, I want to pay for my children's school fees. I want to go to the hospital. I want to do this. I want to do that. And all these things, or most of them, are genuine. That cannot happen in the West, because you know that you can't come to me that you want money for your school, your children's school fees, when I know that the schools have already been paid for by the huge sum of tax that is being taken from my wages every 2 weeks or every month. You cannot tell me that you have to pay for hospital bill when I know that huge amount of my tax is already paying for that. So the blame here is not on the people back home pulling you here and there. The blame here is on the Nigerian government that have refused to provide for those people. Because if the Nigerian government have provided for those people and they call you, just like if you are in Europe and your brother called you and said, I need 200 pounds, you know that he's not borrowing, he's not asking you to give him that 200 pounds. He's just asking you to borrow him. And if you borrow him, you know 100%, him himself know that as soon as he get the next money, he will pay you. Because you know, I know, he knows that except if you don't want to work, there's always work for you. So hardly is there anybody abroad here from back home that I know that don't want to work. So the work is there. You cannot come to me and borrow money. You cannot come to my house and say I should give you small rice. You cannot tell me to pay your children's school fees. But back home, the Nigerian government have failed the Nigerian citizens. So we cannot just wrap it up and say everything is their fault. But what we can do, because every time we talk about a problem, I always want to make sure that we have a leeway, a blueprint, how to get out of that problem. All what Aisha have said, not one single one of them is untrue, and not one single one of them is not right. Because you don't have to overwork yourself to an extent that you have to die. When you are dead, nobody remembers you. But how can we, as people in diaspora, help to solve these problems that we are talking about? That is the main thing. Rather than stop sending money to them, avoid these people, what can we do as those in diaspora to solve and eradicate this problem back home? And if you have been watching some of my videos, these are things that I've always said. In Nigeria, if Nigeria continues the way it's going, believe you me, those money that you have been saving, they will be reducing, except if you are a tough person. I have known some people over the years who are very, very tough when it comes to money. Some did not even communicate with their family for 5 years. Some did not for 10 years. And life goes on. Like Aisha said, those people back home, they did not die. They survived. But are we all the same? And this is why I'm going to use this opportunity to say what I've always been saying on my videos. I know a lot of people have given up on Nigeria. But for as long as Nigeria continue in that way, no matter how much you make in diaspora, you will still be a contributing factor to all these people, and it's not going to stop, it's going to carry on. So what do we do to get out of this issue? And my advice, if you have been watching my videos, is that we can make sure that those people back home become responsible. Take the bull by the horn. Make sure that, yes, the life is theirs. How are they going to take it? And that is why I've always said, you've only got two ways for us to get out of these issues. One is for us to have a monster revolution. And if you look at all the baby protests that we've been having, you will know that the Nigerian government are aware of their poor performance and will not allow those revolution to happen. But if we can make it a massive monster revolution, then we have a chance. But Nigerians, like Aisha said, they are not serious. They are not ready. Because if they are ready, they will not increase fuel price, 3 or 4 times within 6 months or within 1 year. And yet, we are all still there doing nothing. So what I will advise going forward from here is to start. 2 things will take Nigerian government out. I've just talked about one, monster revolution. The second one is the only channel in which the Nigerian government have continually told us that if you know you are not happy with the government, go through the ballot, go through election. If it is easy for us to have taken government, we would have done so. Ojukwu did it in 1967. What came out of it? A lot of people have agitated for secession. What came out of it? So for over 30 years, people have been calling for secession. We cannot be one Nigeria, cannot work as one Nigeria. Yes, I agree. But how are you going to take it? It's either you take it by seceding, but the Nigerian government will not allow that, or you take it by ballots, which the Nigerian government will influence who came out as the winner. But it is easier to go through their own, what the Constitution agree with. But behind our mind, we are just waiting for them to do what they did in 2023. And hopefully we have a strong leader who, if he knows that, yes, I won this election, bring all those voters out and let's do that big monster revolution on something that we know that at least this time we get something where we won't hold. We vote for somebody, you people rig it. All of a sudden there's a glitch. Then we go out and we take back what is ours. Going forward from now on, because just giving people money without anything doesn't make sense. We need to start giving them money with condition. Mama, have you had your PVC? John, take Mama to the local government. Let her have a PVC. Musa, ka je ka ɗauki Mama ka kai ta, a je a samun mata a bata PVC. Tunde, mo àbúrò ẹ lọ sí local government, kẹ́ lọ register, kẹ́ get PVC yín, kẹ́ lọ tọ́jú ẹ̀. In 6 months, any one of them that refuse to get that PVC, then they don't deserve your penny. That is what I would say. So let's not just say we are not sending money home. What are we doing in order to change home? How can we change home? So this is an idea that we can use to increase the numbers of people that are voting. All those our young ones that are not serious back home. And like Aisha said, they can just text and say, Uncle, please borrow me money or give me money. Brother, I need money for this, money for that. Go and get your PVC. Without that PVC, don't give anybody penny. I will back that up. And once everybody, we have how many millions of diaspora all over? Imagine if only 5 million. And in every single one, there's at least 10 to 50 people attached to that one person. Imagine if those 50 or 40 or 30 you are sending money to, you make sure that they all have your PVC. And when the time for election comes, you have your own candidate that we all believe is going to work for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Even though you are not allowed to vote as diaspora in Nigeria, this is how you can put your influence and have over 30 people vote on your behalf. I know people that I'm close to, and each time I tell them, have you got your PVC? I've not got my PVC. Okay, the money I promised you or the money I normally give you, I will give you for the next 4 months. By the 5th month, if you have not gotten your PVC, I will not send it to you. Believe you me, I've managed to get many get their PVCs. So I'm just waiting to see the right candidate. And then I will go and ask them, this is the person you vote for, and I want the proof. Believe you me, it is very, very possible because they know they have no any other channel of money coming in other than you. So they will be willing and ready to do this. And I think this is the way those in diaspora should start thinking in order to make changes to the lives of people back home rather than just giving them money for nothing. And those people believe that we have a horse abroad that can be sending money. So let it be tit for tat. Let's use that opportunity to topple the government by using our PVCs. Thank you very much. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider to do so, because this is the way I personally feel that we can get Nigeria back. We must not lose hope on Nigeria. It is very, very possible, but we have to do it in a way that is legit, but we can then turn around to revolt on if there's a glitch.